let's go. Batter up. We're taking the afternoon off. It's a beautiful day for a ball game, today. The fans are out to get a ticket or two. From Walla Washington to Kalamazoo. It's a beautiful day for a home run, but even a triple's okay. We're gonna cheer and boo and raise a hullabaloo at the ball game today.
Hey everybody, it's me, Rick Acosta, the Dodger Card Collector, coming to you with another video. Today is Monday morning, April 8th, 2024. It's roughly 10:40 a.m. and the reason I am outside is because the solar eclipse has just started in Southern California. The first notable signs started at 10:39. It'll peak in the next half hour, somewhere around 11:12. They only expect Southern California should only get about 45% of the sun will be blocked, as opposed to other parts of the country will have a full eclipse. So I thought I'd do something a little different today and talk to you from outside for a bit. So, as I said, today's April 8th, 2024, the 50-year anniversary of Henry Aaron hitting his 715th home run, breaking the record of Babe Ruth. And where was I that day? I'll never forget where I was that day because I missed the whole thing. The game was going to be shown on national television on NBC. I believe it was a Monday night. And the Dodgers were playing. So you think I was all of 8 years old. You think I would have been ready to watch the game. But no, I had Little League practice that day. I was 9 years old, take that back. I had Little League practice, and back then they didn't consider those things as, oh, let's cancel practice because Henry Aaron might hit a home run tonight, even though the entire world was watching. So I remember practice ended, and one of the coaches had heard that Aaron had hit the home run. Back then, maybe somebody was listening on the radio, so there were no phones or anything like that, so I don't even know how he found out. Somebody must have come over to practice. We used to practice at a school baseball field, and I'm assuming one of the coaches was told that Aaron had hit the home run, because that's how we found out that Aaron hit the home run, but it had already happened like an hour earlier. And there was no ESPN, so I didn't get to go home and watch SportsCenter or check on my phone to wait for the highlights on Instagram or Twitter. Or MLB.com. So I think I had to wait for the 11 o'clock news, and I saw the home run, and it was, unfortunately for me, as a 9-year-old, it wasn't a great moment, probably just because it's so much different now where the entire world is watching and it gets documented. Back then, it happened and you missed it. You kind of just missed it. You went on with life. But yeah, so Hank Aaron hit his home run. I always think about it every year on April 8th. Hank Aaron hit his home run, and I was at Little League practice, so I missed the whole thing. Anyways, card-wise, what's going on? I had a, I don't know if you'd call it an epiphany, but you guys know I finished the 41 play ball. The 63 set is winding down. I'm down to 5. I thought I had won a couple of cards this weekend, but I've had no luck. I ended up losing. And on the 68s, I'm less than 100. But one of the things I've been noticing in working on these sets is just I think it took the other day. I won a card. There was an auction, and it's a card I am going to show you shortly here, and I won this 1934 Gaudy card of a certain player that I'd been staring at for a while, and I just never pulled the trigger, and one came up last week, and I bought it, and I remember being really happy, really excited. I go, what a great addition to my collection. And it was interesting for me getting this card because I've noticed with the 1968 and the 1963 set, even though the 63 set is stunning, I'm not as excited working on sets these days. And I know sometimes you see these videos lately, maybe we're making a change here, or it's time to change our positioning. Some people start selling cards, some people just stop buying cards, some people shift their focus. And my collection's always had three facets. As you know, I collect Dodger cards, I'm a set builder, and I collect Hall of Fame graded cards and slabs. So I've told everybody I'm working on the 63, the 68. After that, I might do one or two more sets, and you might say, why one or two more sets? Because my oak bookcase will allow for roughly 22, 24 sets to fit in there perfectly. Anything past that means now I've got to find, where is this binder going to go in my card room? And I'm one of those, you guys kind of see in my card room, I don't like clutter. So it's kind of like, no. Once the bookcase gets filled, that's it. No more set building. So I'm okay with that because I don't want every Topps card. I don't want all. There was a time I wanted every Topps card from 1951 to 1980. Now I'm happy just to have good representation. I hope to have 2 or 3 50 sets at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I hope to have 4 or 5 1960s sets, and I have all the 70s and then half the 80s. So I'm okay with that. So I've noticed that I've kind of gotten more excited into buying pre-war cards, especially from the 30s. I'm loving those 33, 34 Gaudies, loving the Diamond Stars, loving the 38 Gaudies. And if I could ever find them, trying to finish that damn Cracker Jack Dodger team set I'm building. But I think my focus is starting to shift a little. I'm trying to stick with buying cards that I get excited about, that I want in my collection. So that's something that I'm going to try going forward. Yes, I will still be working on the 63 and the 68 sets, but after that I might take my time starting up another set, because I would like to focus on just buying a graded card. I'm liking those Morel Meats cards I'm showing you, the Dodgers. As I said, I like those Gaudi cards. I like the Diamond Star cards. If a T206 card happens to fall on my lap, great. I'm not a big fan of the 20s strip cards, but there are some that I like, and if I see something I like, I'll try and pick it up. It's not easy though; you have to have money for that. So, I just wanted to tell you guys, I'm kind of going through a little shift in my collecting, and that's something I think you're noticing with a lot of collectors, especially as we get older. I don't want 50,000 cards in my room. I don't need them, but so that's what's going on. What are we going to do today? Well, I'm going to go back inside and show you my cards that I have picked up over the last week. We got some, I think, hopefully we'll have, I'm waiting for the mailman to arrive. Hopefully we'll have a couple of vintage cards for you. I know I'll have some 68 cards to show you, but that's what's going on. All right, you guys, it is now, I'm looking behind, I'm trying not to look up. It's now 10:48 Pacific time. We are roughly 9 minutes into this partial eclipse, and in about 24 minutes, the sun will be at 45%. I don't know if I'll log back on. Maybe I will. I don't know. But for now, let's take a look at some cards. So 50 years ago tonight, the man of the hour was one Henry, or Hank Aaron. And in 1974, Topps made this special card number 1, the Home Run Kings. And this left him with, if you look at the back of the card, he has 713 home runs going into the season. He hit one on opening day against the Reds, Jack Billingham, and then on April 8th against the Dodgers, Al Downing, he hit 715. And card numbers 2 through 6 in this set were the Hank Aaron special. And that shows you all the Hank Aaron cards from 1954 through 1973. And as a 9-year-old, that was really my first look at what old baseball cards looked like. They were only, it's sad to think, in 1974, I was only looking at cards that were 20 years old when I looked back at a 1954 card. But it was amazing to see that, like I said, that was my first look at, wow, look at these old baseball cards. And, now it's like, that 54 Aaron is now 70 years old. So a lot's happened since then. So that's my Hank Aaron card. And then 2 pickups. The first one being Paul Richards from the 1961 Topps All-Star subset. I had made a comment in my last video, I believe. There was one available on eBay in a PSA 5, and he was asking way above VCP, and I'm one of those. Well, I don't always pay attention to VCP. I do use it as a decent guide, and when someone's asking basically PSA 7 money for a PSA 5 card, I'm not interested. So this card eventually popped up on eBay in a PSA 7, and I actually got this cheaper than the card that's currently available as a PSA 5. So this is Paul Richards, the manager of the Baltimore Orioles. And that leaves me needing 1 card in this set, and that's Ernie Banks. So hopefully I find that soon. But you guys know I always talk about it. That's my favorite subset. And then the last card I picked up is the card that made me kind of have the epiphany here. That's the 1934 Gaudy Ernie Lombardi in a PSA 3. I had been staring at this card for a while, a PSA 4 actually, and it was a good price. I just never pulled the trigger, and eventually somebody bought it. This card was a little different in that it was there's a video out there. John P. Collects Cards. He actually did a video, God, maybe only a week ago, 10 days ago. He went over their heritage auction. This card was in it. So this specific card, and the weird thing was, I remember I was like, how did I get the card so quickly after the guy won from Heritage? I don't know how he did it. The eBay, I won this on eBay. The good stuff, or the good news for me at least as a collector, was that he was asking, the seller on eBay was asking $199 for this card. And I put it on watch. I just put it on my watch list. All I said was, oh, maybe the price will come down. And I hadn't looked up VCP or anything like that. And I just knew it was a card that one day I would like to own. And one day I literally had just got in the car. I'm starting to drive to work. And all of a sudden my phone flashes, seller offer. And I go, typical. The second I get into the car, you know, you think the guy's going to drop the price $10, something like that. And as I mentioned, the price was $199. All of a sudden, no, the card was dropped $65 down to $134. I literally had to pull over on the street and finish the deal. So I got this card at a great price, and it's a great addition to my collection. I am building a set I have made up in my head, fabricated. It's guys that didn't make it onto the 1941 play ball set. And it's going to feature, I believe, 15 players. And I've got 6 or 7 of them, and Ernie Lombardi's one of them. So here is my 1934 Gaudy Ernie Lombardi. So we got some cards from one of my favorite eBay sellers, or my most used eBay seller. And that would be Mr. Greg Morris, based here out of Los Angeles. The man, his company, his card company, has helped me build a lot of card sets. I will say that. So today I got some pickups, some 1968 stuff. So let's take a look. Wipe it clean here. Gaylord Perry. So here's Gaylord Perry. Going into this video, I needed roughly 105 cards to finish the 68 set. And I'm finally reaching to that point where I'm starting to buy some names. So here's where you'll see the progression of this set. And we're going to start off with Gaylord Perry. Also picked up some more 1968 Topps Game. Here's Rusty Staub. Someday if I get this whole thing, I'm going to end up having to play this game, try it out. There's Rusty Staub. We're going to have a few of these here. Richie Allen. Richie Allen of the, I was about to say of the White Sox. Richie Allen of the Phillies. Let's see. Gary Peters. Gary Peters of the White Sox. Steve Hargan of the Cleveland Indians. I don't know who he is, to be perfectly honest with you. Steve Hargan. Here is Tony Gonzalez, or as he is listed in on the TCDB website for the checklist, Antonio Gonzalez. And also listed with his Latino name is Mateo Alou, or Matty Alou as we all know him. This is card number 1 of the set. Surprisingly, I don't have the first, with the exception of Alou, I don't have the first 10 cards of this set, or the first 9 cards of this set. And when you look at the 9, it's like Mantle, Mays, Aaron, Robinson, Frank Ann Brooks. It looks like they put all their heavy hitters with the first 9 guys. So there's Mateo Alou. Mike McCormick of the San Francisco Giants. Mike McCormick. And the last one in this group for now is going to be Tim McCarver. Hall of Fame baseball announcer Tim McCarver, I believe. And here he is with the Cardinals. Going back to 1968, we have Mr. Joe Morgan, the All-Star card. This year, I think 68, 69, Topps had some issues with the Astros. I don't think they could use the Astro logo. I don't think they could list the card as Astros. I think they would only say Houston. So here we see why Joe Morgan doesn't have a logo on his cap. And that is his All-Star card. I think that's supposed to be Carl Yastrzemski when you put the puzzle together. This one I bought by accident. That's what happens sometimes when you're building a set. This is Ed FitzPatrick of the Angels. I'll have to see when I put this in my binder. I'll look at the previous one I own, and if this one's nicer, I'll replace it in the binder. But yeah, unfortunately, I made the mistake of buying that card twice. Jim Cott. There's Jim Cott of the Twins. Card number 450. Another Hall of Famer from the Twins, Tony Oliva. Tony Oliva. Okay, you guys are going to have to help me out on this one. Here's my checklist for the 7th series. I have no idea who this is on the Atlanta Braves. No clue. Somebody put that in the comments, because one of you is going to say something. I know that. But that's the top checklist. Tiger rookies, of which I never heard of either one. So those are the Tiger rookie stars. Let's see. The home run leaders. I almost said 3 Hall of Famers. Frank Howard's not in the Hall of Fame. Yastrzemski, Killebrew, and Frank Howard. Yaz led the league that year, tied with Killebrew with 44. And Frank Howard had 36. That's a nice card. RBI leaders. Yaz, Killebrew, and Frank Robinson. So there we go. Now we got our 3 Hall of Famers. 121 RBIs for Yaz. Killebrew had a damn good year as well. Okay. Speaking of Harmon Killebrew, here's his All-Star card. So Harmon Killebrew and his teammate. This is like a Minnesota Twins buy today. I've got Cott, Oliva, Killebrew, and Rod Carew All-Star. I have his regular card already, so that's something I don't have to purchase. So there's the Sporting News All-Star Rod Carew. I believe these All-Star cards are the first since 1962. Topps took a break between 1963 and 1967 when it came to their All-Star cards. Looks like I got a couple more 1968 Topps game. There's Tommy Davis. Tommy Davis. And the last one, Gene Alley, shortstop of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Gene Alley. Okay, got a few more 68s. Fred Whitfield. Fred Whitfield. And another All-Star card. We've got Frank Robinson. So there's Frank Robinson. The Curse. I don't think he's nicknamed The Curse. Rocky Calavito. At this point with the White Sox, I believe at some point during this season, he ends up getting traded to the Dodgers. Doesn't last very long there either. There's Rocky Calavito. Hall of Famer Jim Bunning. Now with the Pirates at that point. So in 68, Jim Bunning was on the Pirates. I remember this guy growing up. He was on the Angels when I first started watching him play. That was Tony Conigliaro. This guy put up some really solid numbers those first few years in Boston. And then we all know he got beamed in the eye. I think he was out for like a year and a half. He just wasn't the same player when he came back. Tony Conigliaro. Let's see, two more. Lou Brock. Lou Brock Sox 4 hits in opener. This is a World Series card. The only action cards that we had during the 60s. That's Lou Brock. This is game 1. And last but not least, Ron Santo. Ron Santo of the Chicago Cubs, Hall of Famer. So I'm keeping stats, so I might as well tell you because I'll always keep stats. With the cards that I picked up today for the 1968 Topps game, there's 33 cards in the set. I now have 19. And with these cards from 1968 that I picked up today, I think I need roughly 84 or 85 more. So we're slowly getting there. I've got a bid tonight, Huggins and Scott, on a card. I doubt I'll win, but if I win, I'll show that card off in a heartbeat. And then I missed out, or I'm not going to continue bidding on, did I say Huggins and Scott? Anyway, I have a bid next week with an auction house on a 63 Roberto Clemente, and I'm not going to bid anymore. I got outbid the other day, and it was a PSA 6. My high bid was only 150. I was trying to lowball it. And it's now up to like 160 something, and I go, nah, I refuse to play anymore. So that's it, you guys. Thanks if you stuck around this long. Thanks so much for joining me, and we'll talk to you next time. Take care. All right, I thought I'd come back on. It's 11:12. You really can't tell much of a difference here. I just saw that in Mazatlan, Mexico. They had the first totality where everything went dark. That was pretty amazing. So Southern California didn't get the great effects. I think my friends in Texas, though, are getting hit next. So I will leave you on that. Have a wonderful day. Take care, everybody.
It's a beautiful day for a party.